India can't be the next China. Raghuram Rajan's warning shocks the nation. Just imagine. What if you were told right now that India will never become the next China? Would you be surprised? Probably yes, because until now, we've been hearing the exact opposite. That India is on the path to becoming the next global manufacturing superpower. From Make in India to PLI schemes, every policy has painted that dream. But now, that very dream has been doused with cold water by none other than former RBI governor and one of the world's most respected economists, Raghuram Rajan. In clear and direct words, Rajan said there is no room left for another China, and that India must shift its focus. His statement has rattled economists, policymakers, and dreamers alike. Today, we'll explore this topic in depth, what Rajan really meant, why he said it, and what it means for India's future. But before we begin, if you're new to our channel, make sure to subscribe so you never miss any of our thought-provoking updates. Now let's dive straight into this critical discussion. Raghuram Rajan's statement is not just an opinion, it's a stern warning. He has said that India should give up the dream of becoming China 2.0 in the manufacturing race. This raises a serious question. Why did he say this? And is this a red flag for India's growth trajectory? Because when a globally renowned economist says India can no longer become a manufacturing base, it's not just a viewpoint, it's backed by data, experience, and global realities. Rajan made this comment at a time when India's economy is going through a significant transformation. Millions of young Indians are entering the workforce every year, all looking for jobs. But the pace of industrial growth is not matching this demographic explosion. For many, manufacturing has long been viewed as the answer to this employment challenge. But Rajan asks, is it really the solution? Or just an illusion? He explains that today's manufacturing is no longer what it used to be. Machines have now taken over modern factories. The assembly line work that once employed millions of workers is now handled by robots. Companies today don't need laborers, they need machine operators, repair engineers, and software technicians. In other words, even factories now demand skills. This means that the old model of low cost, high labor is no longer sustainable. In a sense, Rajan is challenging India to rethink its ambitions not by abandoning growth, but by redirecting it toward future-ready sectors where India has a real edge. He believes that countries like China and Vietnam not only provided cheap labor for manufacturing, but also built strong infrastructure. They brought efficiency to logistics, electricity, transport, and policy, elements that are the soul of factories. On the other hand, India is still struggling with basic infrastructure. Frequent policy changes, power uncertainty, land availability, and complex labor laws still make investors hesitant. Rajan specifically said that India should not rely solely on manufacturing for jobs. If India wants to move forward, it must focus on the service sector, skill development, and technology. He said, take up jobs wherever they are available. Create jobs wherever you can. These words strike a chord because they reflect ground reality. India is already doing well in high-value services like IT, finance, consulting, and digital services. India holds a 4.5% share in global service exports, which is significant. But Rajan says we now need to look even deeper, such as at domestic services, truck drivers, plumbers, AC technicians, healthcare workers. If skill training is provided in these areas, millions of jobs can be created. And these jobs won't just be limited to big cities, but can spread to small towns and villages as well. One of the most important things Raghuram Rajan emphasized was this: India must seize every opportunity, be it the domestic market or exports. While India is the fastest growing country in the G20, it still lags far behind in terms of per capita income. That means, while there's an illusion of prosperity, in reality, a lot still remains to be achieved. As long as a young man in a village believes he lacks the skills, and even the cities don't offer him work, this growth will remain incomplete. Rajan also pointed out that the global landscape is changing rapidly. Nationalism around manufacturing is on the rise. Every country wants its own factories, its own jobs, its own production. If India continues to chase the dream of becoming a manufacturing giant, it will have to enter a global battlefield of fierce international competition, where space is limited and the stakes are incredibly high. He warns that now is the time for India to rethink its strategy. We must accept that becoming the next China is not an ideal model. India must remain India with its unique socio-cultural fabric and economic reality. And that reality says we must invest our strength where true opportunity lies in the service sector, digital innovation, MSME, and skill development. And here's something truly important. Rajan doesn't just point out the problems, he offers solutions. He says that if we channel our youth power in the right direction, equip them with the right skills, and make them digitally ready, then India won't just be a country looking for jobs, it can become a country that creates them. And that is where the story of a new India begins. Today, India has a demographic advantage that no other major country possesses, a young population. But this youth power, if pushed toward unemployment, can turn from a blessing into a burden. That's why it is essential to place education and skill development at the heart of policymaking. There must be a plan to bridge the gap between the formal and informal sectors and a clear roadmap to connect skills with employment. India must not focus solely on large factories, but also on the micro level, on artisans, local entrepreneurs, young people working in digital marketing, craft workers, and even rural women entrepreneurs. Together, they can shape a new economic landscape where growth is not just seen in GDP numbers, but felt in people's lives. At this point, the discussion goes beyond economics. It touches on social and psychological transformation. When a young person believes they can build something with their own efforts, without moving to a metro city, without relying on family connections, they begin to give back to society. That is what true inclusive development looks like. And this model is the most relevant for India. Rajan also emphasized that opportunities shouldn't be reserved only for the high-tech, English-speaking elite. Small skills, like motor mechanics, mobile repair technicians, truck operators, painters, and fitting experts must be part of a strong, supportive ecosystem. And that can only happen when policymakers start thinking not just with data, but with empathy, connected not just to statistics, but to real people. So, should India give up on manufacturing? Absolutely not. But it must understand that manufacturing is no longer the magic wand that can solve every problem. It's a sector already under pressure, grappling with intense global competition, and struggling to adapt to rapidly changing technologies. The time has come for India to recognize its true strength, its human capital. We have the largest, youngest, and most curious workforce in the world. If we guide them, skill them, and instill confidence in them, India won't need to copy any other country. It can create its own unique model, the India model. This model would combine technology, entrepreneurship, rural skills, women's participation, and digital services. It won't just bring economic growth, but will also promote social equity, self-reliance, and a defining role for India in the global future. Most importantly, this model will ensure that India remains India, not a shadow of someone else. To see Raghuram Rajan's insights as merely an economic statement would be a mistake. His words are a mirror, one in which India must look at itself and ask, which path do we want to follow? Do we want to be just another country lost in the crowd, imitating someone else's model? Or do we want to carve our own path, moving forward with trust in our people's strength, and becoming a nation that leads on its own terms?
You something new, do not forget to like and share this video so that this information can reach others as well. Your likes and shares are a source of inspiration for us. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let us know in the comments. It will be our honor to answer your questions and listen to suggestion. And yes, if you like our content, Subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you stay connected with every news story. Thank you. GRT Business YouTube channel sources news from various news agencies, opinion polls, and other public sources. We try to ensure that every report and summary is accurate and verified, but we are not responsible for any dispute or error. Our aim is only to provide you with accurate information.